Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night stream. I thought I would be coming back or on here late, if at all, because I was originally supposed to be at the Iowa Prepper Meetup, which took place at the Ledges State Park, but my ride bailed on me and I could not get a replacement driver, so I ended up staying home all weekend, and of course that allowed me to make sure I got my pots watered on my deck every day. And plus I went to Friday prayer at the mosque and took care of a few things there afterwards. But anyway, tonight is one of the two 2017 IMPs that CT had sent me, and these were the two that were on my wish list, and he graciously sent them to me. These do not have menu numbers, they just say what it is, but this 17 means that it is 2017 pack. And this is the paper bag style, which ended a couple years later. There's Camp Fat and Family Compound, and then I have also brought out two of the bars that he sent along with me to open up. These are both Cadbury brand. So whatever candy is in here, if it is, for instance, a coffee crisp or something like that is familiar, I will just go ahead and save that for later, and these two will replace it. So I have water coming up to a boil on the stove. So I'm just going to go ahead and rip into this. The newer bags are plastic, and so they're water resistant, if not waterproof, whereas these would not. Oops, sorry about my phone now. And another difference is the newer packs do not have these boxes that the mains are in. So here's a Snickers bar. This is something that we are very familiar with here in the U.S., so I will actually eat that at another time. This is a Nescafe 3-in-1, so that will go into the 4 MRE mug. This is peanut butter, and Canadian peanut butter is packed here in the U.S. and then sent up to Canada. So I've got two sports drinks. They always send the same flavor. This is fruit punch. So one will go into the drinking jar, and another one will be added to my stash. This is a vanilla drink mix, so it appears if I choose to do this, I will have to get another glass to put that in. But this one is a gusseted bag, and it's got a zip seal at the top, so you could pour the water in it and then shake the living crap out of it and then pour it into your glass or drink it out of the bag. Frank's Red Hot, I'm assuming that's for the poutine. Oh, this is a different style of labeling for the tortillas. Instead of going across this way, the tortillas are labeled this way, and this was folded like this, so these are double folded. So what I may do with these, I may take these to the kitchen and warm them up in there. The Canadian beverage bag, which make great storage bags. Here is raspberry jam. Get the IMP spork, which is the same color as the US Emery spoon, but just a little bit longer. And the infamous Canadian paper towel. And you get the white matchbook with pink tip matches. And the infamous Canadian mint pop-up towel. You put water on these. These have been demonstrated so many times. So I save these. And a little packet of 4 Tic Tacs. Always same flavor. And then the dessert is sliced pears. There is spicy tuna rolls in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So the newer versions of the IMPs, they get rid of these boxes. And the retort pouch color is closer to this, but maybe with a little green tint to it. And then the last thing in the bag, which will serve as my trash bag, is the main entree with tape on it. Apparently this glue did not stick, so someone on the packing line threw a piece of masking tape on it. So this is the poutine. There is Sunshine Side of Life 77. So easy to pop that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get another glass to put this in, because I will go ahead and mix this up. And then this sports drink here does not have the issues that the American sport drink does. Although this one seems a little bit clumped up. It could just be hard packed, almost vacuum packed. So I don't think I have any trouble mixing this one. Although this other one is a little bit looser. So I may go ahead and mix this one up instead of this other one, because this one does seem a bit caked up. But yeah, it could be all right. It could just be tighter packed than this one. So anyway, I will be right back. I also grabbed another bottle of water because the first bottle I brought out would not have enough for both drinks. And it's supposed to be a line right here. And the line is basically at the top of the powder almost. I can definitely smell the artificial flavor, and this zip was not sealed. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the spork to stir it first. Oops, sorry about that. There is Mike in the house. James Ortiz is here. I'm folding the bag over a couple of times before I shake the living crap out of it. It just says shake vigorously, doesn't say a time. So I'm just going to let that sit. There's a 3-in-1 in the mug. And the fruit punch in the drinking jar. We'll see if I have enough water in here for this. Well, actually that did it. So that finished off that bottle. I'm going to go ahead and mix this with my foreign emery spork. This has a slightly different red than the American fruit punch. It almost looks like the color of a cherry drink. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the Poutine out of the box. The retort pouches were silver. Now they're kind of a yellow with a slight greenish tinge to it. And the Baxter's logo is not as prominent. So I'm going to take this and the tortillas into the kitchen. Then I'll take this other water back into the fridge because I don't need it. And I'll be right back. I just poured the water into the coffee. That'll take care of the coffee done. I'm opening up the pears. The Snickers bar fell off to the side. There is LC in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So I have the pears. Again, the same thing will be for all of the Canadian desserts in the newer packaging. The retorts are no longer silver. And there's still a lot of liquid in here, so a lot of pear juice. It got down where I don't want it to go, but I'll deal with that real quick. They put a lot of the liquid in here. I guess they figure you can drink it. There is Quint in the house. I'm going to give the shake another shake. So that is a vanilla shake. And just to make sure that it did get well mixed, I'm going to give it another stir. There are still some chunks in there that did not get mixed up earlier. And since I got the tortillas being warmed, while I wait for those to warm up, I'm going to go ahead and open up these bars. And this is Cadbury brand, available in Canada. It kind of reminds me of a Butterfinger bar. It kind of looks like a Butterfinger bar. It did break, but that's okay because it will allow me to show the inside of it. Get rid of this cardboard sleeve. The Butterfinger is more of an orange color, where this is like, it looks like the color of a peanut butter fudge. Actually, I should probably keep it wrapped around. And this one is the Crispy Crunch. And this one is the Caramilk. This is a wide bar. Oops, sorry about that. Which you could split. Like that. So this has a caramel center. There is CT. So I have two of the bars. The Poutine has a Snickers in it, but I will save that for another day because we're all familiar with Snickers. I have the tortillas warming up in the kitchen. Along with the poutine itself. Elsie, are you referring, which coffee are you referring to? Because I have not received any coffee sent in the mail since, other than what's in rations, other than that Death Wish coffee. There's Booger Butt in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So you'll have to tell me which coffee that was. Yeah, I have a Big Turk. I will bring that out on another day. Oh, okay. I have not bought a coffee. So I don't know if you mean a specific coffee, like, say, if I were to go buy some Black Rifle coffee, or, you know, I have 2 full bags of G7 instant coffee, or I go buy another kind of instant coffee or regular grind coffee. Oh, yeah, I usually go to Frederick's. See, not too long ago, the last time I was in Frederick's, which is a local coffee house chain here in Des Moines, I got. No, actually, it wasn't Frederick's. It was at a Chinese restaurant a couple weeks ago. I got me an iced coffee there. I don't know if that would count. DeCarlos Perry in the house, thanks for dropping in. So I had that with my meal. I don't know if that would count, LC, as a specialty coffee because I bought it with my lunch. Okay, I guess that'll count. Yeah, that was an Asian style milk coffee, they called it. And it was actually not too bad. I'm just giving the peanut butter a bit of a knead. And then I will go get the tortillas. And we'll see how they fare being folded in half in the pouch and then the pouch folded in half again the other way. There is a puppy breath in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Sounds like I popped a couple of air bubbles in this peanut butter. So I will be back with the tortillas. Let's see how these held up. Oxygen absorber. Well, looks like they got messed up. From being folded like this. Yeah, these did not take that kind of treatment too well. So I just may be ripping this part off right here, putting that over here. And then I can deal with these bigger portions. Now, gonna get the raspberry jam. Here is a close-up of the peanut butter and the jam side by side. Oh, wow. But I bet shipping is outrageous, though. Now the peanut butter is a slightly different taste than the formula used for the U.S. rations. There is Hugo Homestead in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Tonight's dinner is Poutine from 2017 from north of the border. So I'm just going to fold this bit up. I'll just put that part underneath it. I'm going to take a bite of this caramel. There's a caramel filling. Very soft. It's milk chocolate. It tastes like other milk chocolate Cadbury candies that I'm used to. Now I'm going to take a drink of, actually I'll take a drink of the vanilla shake. Very foamy, still a bit powdery. This is the crispy crunch that looks like a slightly different color version of a Butterfinger that we know of here in the U.S. It's the same kind of a toffee crunch, but almost, it kind of reminds me more of a caramel flavor than a butterscotch flavor, because I'm not getting that same flavor that you would get with a Butterfinger. Yeah, definitely. And if the shipping on that one is not too bad, yeah, I would go for it. But speaking of poutine, I think I'm going to go get it out of the pot. I am back with the poutine. I'm just going to dry it off so it's easier to handle. Get that out of the way. There we go. Lots of broth here. There's a potato. The chicken is like a pulled chicken but in bigger chunks. That was a piece of the cheese, and the cheese is a bit soft. And it looks almost the color of the chicken. Several years ago, I had poutine in a local restaurant here in Des Moines, and they used beef and orange cheddar curds, which we're familiar with here. And it was actual French fries and not just potatoes cooked like this, like they're boiled. Of course, you can't get legit French fries in a ration. But this is still pretty darn good. And you get these long pieces of potato, but they will come apart. So they're very soft. But I'm definitely going to enjoy finishing this one off. Yeah, the cheese is a milder cheese flavor than what I had here. They used a sharper cheddar here. Try to get it all in one bite. No, I didn't get the cheese in that bite. Here we go. Now I got the cheese. Yeah, the gravy you would expect to be a little thicker. But it's still got good flavor though. I can always dip the tortilla in it. I suppose, like anything, there's regional differences. And you can't go wrong with a Nescafe 3-in-1 coffee. Although I still like G7 better. But I'll drink a Nescafe 3-in-1 any day. Yeah, maybe this is turkey instead of chicken. I suppose I could look at the ingredients. Nope, it is chicken. Doesn't want to focus on the box, dang it. There we go. Yeah, it's chicken. Turkey poutine does sound like it would be pretty darn good. Although I'd probably want to take a nap afterwards. And there could be a little bit more cheese in here. Yeah, New Mexico has a nasty wildfire going on down there. It's burned a lot of square miles. So a lot of people packing. I would not want to be down there right now. My one friend who lives up in London, Ontario, she reported earlier today that a lot of places up in that province were getting hammered. And then Creative Redundancy also posted that parts of Ontario were getting hammered, so. Yeah, we have not had any severe storms probably for a couple weeks. Take a drink of this fruit punch. And this tastes a little bit less artificial than American fruit punch. So it actually has that classic sports drink flavor. I do like the combination of the peanut butter and this raspberry jam. It's pretty good. I'll probably use this other tortilla to dip into my sauce. I wouldn't call it gravy. It's more of a sauce. Now these tortillas taste very similar to the U.S. tortillas. Yeah. Here in Iowa, we still have a few places that are still short on ground moisture. But for much of the state, we had such a wet and cold spring that most farmers could not get into the fields to do their initial field prep, let alone planting for almost a month. And so with the nice weather that we had last week, there was some major catching up to do. And Initially today there was supposed to be, well, tomorrow there was supposed to be rain, but that apparently has moved on and we're not going to get any rain tomorrow. So farmers will be able to get out into their fields tomorrow. And of course, gardeners can get out and do their stuff. But me living on the second floor, I don't have to worry about stepping in mud. I can just go out on my deck, water each container. Well, I never heard them called water dogs. Back in '93, people like that were probably the ones who came out with the National Guard to distribute water from the big tanks in the backs of trucks when our water system got flooded and not only killed the pumps and the machinery to move the water around the various tanks, but our backup generators got flooded because they were not protected against water infiltration. But after that flood, which was supposedly a 500-year flood, and we've had similar floods since then in various parts of the state. Not so much here in Des Moines, but after the '93 flood, a huge wall with a drop-down gate was built around the water treatment plant so that should anything like that happen again, the gate will drop down and block any water from encroaching inside. I think this is out of focus. Which turkey strips, Mike? You mean the turkey strips in orange sauce? I actually enjoyed that one when I had it. There's Wyoming in the house. Maybe I like unusual flavors like that. You know, not quite up there with the true Asian orange chicken, but I enjoyed that turkey with orange sauce. Yep, that's right, CT. Of course, I'm down to one cat since I had to send Mila over the Rainbow Bridge. It'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. That I had to do that. For those coming in late, this is a 2017 Canadian IMP Poutine sent by CT. I have the shepherd's pie, which will probably come in a few weeks. And I'll bring out a couple more of these bars. He sent a bunch of bars along with these rations. So I brought out the caramel. Has a soft caramel filling inside it. Inside of milk chocolate. And then this crispy crunch, it's kind of like a Butterfinger, but with more of a caramel flavor. I figured, when I took the poutine pouch out of the water, it bloated up a little bit, but I wasn't too concerned about it. Now, it'd be nice to do a direct comparison between this and a Butterfinger, but the Butterfinger has that butterscotch flavor, whereas this is more of a caramel toffee flavor. And this is a vanilla shake, which even after stirring, then shaking and stirring, it's still quite foamy. I didn't get a whole lot of grit in that swig, but the vanilla flavor is not extremely strong in it. Then again, I got a lot of foam. It's not a real sweet shake. Like a strawberry or a chocolate shake would be a lot sweeter. Well, I have pumpkins, so I'm not alone here. she's laying somewhere sleeping. Now, Pumpkin is 2.5. I'm only guessing because when my friend who brought her to me, he came August of last year. He said she was 2 years old, so I'm just going to assume that she was born probably sometime late July or early August of 2020. So I guess she would almost be 3 years old since we're almost out of May. But she's a good cat. That's okay, CT. Thanks for dropping in. I'm glad you're able to see this one opened up. Yep, on to who knows where tomorrow. I almost need something else to sop up the rest of this sauce. Otherwise, I'll just wear it all over my shirt. But I will go ahead and pick up one of these pieces of pear. Yeah, that probably would have absorbed more. But then again, I used part of the tortilla for peanut butter and the jam, and I still have some of each left in these packets. But yeah, the hamburger bun would have absorbed more of the sauce. Burger butt. Thanks for dropping in. Even if it was just Dave. So, of course, a shout out to LJ. And he should be finishing school fairly soon for the spring. Of course, he will have his other summer activities. But thanks for dropping in, Rachel. Good to see you. Hope things start looking up for you soon. Now, this, I guess, was kind of a quickie one. There was not a whole lot to this ration. I suppose if I wanted to, I could bust out a set of crackers, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that. What I might actually do is save what's left of this, put it in a small container, and then pour it over some rice with ground beef in it that I brought home from my mosque Friday. We started up our Friday lunches again after not doing it for 2 years and 2 months. So there's enough of that, what I call dirty rice, because the meat, the ground beef, was mixed in with the rice. So I'll probably just pour this over top of that. Yeah, I brought enough of that home to fill an ice cream bucket plus another half of another container. So I would eat that every day, and I don't mind because, you know, that's just what I do. I have been putting some diced tomatoes on it that I cut up to take to camp if I would have been able to keep my ride. If that person wouldn't have bailed on me. I was going to take some ground beef and some, that Vidalia onion that I showed that I'm rooting. I diced that up and put that in a Ziploc bag, and that's in the fridge. I'll probably just throw that on the dehydrator so I can dehydrate it. That way I can keep that for long-term storage. Oh yeah, I got a bit of the half-mixed powder in that swig of that shake. Yeah, that's a real drawback to these shakes, is they do not mix very well. Even when you stir and shake the living crap out of them. But it's not bad though. I'll definitely finish it off. And of course I have these 2 bars. I'll finish them off too. Yeah, actually you can find inexpensive ones for less than $40. I paid, I think, $39 on the Walmart website, and any orders over $35, you automatically get free shipping. Yep, rice is a very good food to keep on hand, and I keep a few varieties of rice in my long-term storage. I have basmati rice. I have some arboreal rice, not a whole lot of that. I have some jasmine rice. And I have just the usual plain white rice that is grown right here in the U.S. And I have also seen rice blends where there's a red rice, and you get like 4 or 5 different kinds of rice in one container. I have not seen that lately, but I have seen that in the past. Yeah, jasmine rice is another good one. Some people like it, some don't, but I enjoy it. I just don't eat a whole lot of it because basmati is used almost exclusively at the mosque because that is the kind that most people there are familiar with and they eat a lot of. And so I tend to eat a lot of that myself. And so when I cook rice, and there's Elsie with a super chat asking craziest ration you've ever had. I would say the craziest one, I guess some people's definition of crazy may be not be another definition for someone else, but probably the craziest one that I would think of is probably one of the brown bags. But then again, maybe it was an older tan bag. But there are some rations out there that makes you wonder, what were they thinking? But actually, I would say the craziest ration would be the Russian vegetarian 24-hour ration that I did, where the main entree inside of that foil can did not match the label. The cardboard sleeve that was wrapped around it. The other 3, there are 4 of these foil tins. And I made 4 meals out of that ration by adding a few components of my own stash to complete that. But the picture did not even come close to what was inside the tin, and the other ones all matched. You know, when I opened them, they looked like what was on that cardboard sleeve in the picture, but that one did not. It was completely different. So either someone messed up at the packing line, they didn't put the correct label on that particular tin, or someone mixed them up. So that would be my guess on that one. So I was expecting something with a purple vegetable, but there was no purple in any of them. So I would say that one was the strangest one, or probably the craziest. And that would be aside from the rations that I had that were rated by customs. Yeah, it was definitely a mix-up somewhere. But that one was still good, though. It was just not what I expected. Now, the CR1M, the only CR1M I had ever gotten my paws on, the two mains were taken out by customs, and I bought that one from foreignemery.com, and they substituted a couple of US mains, and that was notated in the listing. But it would have been nice to taste the actual Australian mains in that one. And I do hope to get an unadulterated CR1M or PR1M. The PR1M being the freeze-dried version. But other than that, everything else would be basically the same as a CR1M, I think. Yeah, they rated French RCIR, the last one of those I bought. I did not even bother opening that one up on camera because not only the two 300-gram mains are gone, but the chicken pate was gone. And they even took the little folding spork out of the stove kit box. Even that was missing. So yeah, I was not happy about that one. So that one just basically became a snack box for me. Of course, that thing is so small, unfolded, it's barely that long. I don't see how a French soldier can eat with that. Especially something with big chunks, say like the ostrich and cranberry sauce. That was the first RCIR that I had, which is quite awesome. I hardly doubt you can find any of those. Again, that one was from 2015. Let's see. Thanks for dropping in. Puppy Breath is taking her little paws on out of here. So catch you on the next one, hopefully. If not earlier in the next time Sean has the Ration Museum stream going. Oh yeah. That was the first time I had ever had ostrich in any form. And it was quite delicious. It was not game meat all to me. The way it was treated was very nicely done. But if you can find one of those that's in very good condition, you might have to pay a few extra dollars to get it if you can even find it, but I think it would be worth it. But I had another IMP that I got was also rated by customs, but I didn't care. I just threw another main in with that one to make a complete meal out of it. I could have done that with that RCIR that had all three meat items taken out, but I was too upset, so I didn't even bother. Never got any response from the seller. I showed pictures, or I sent pictures. Of course, that last Polish ration that I bought, the wrong ration was sent. It did not match the listing at all. No contact from the seller. nothing. But at least it didn't get raided by customs, so I was happy about that. And he sent along a pork main from a French ICIR, so I passed that on to someone else since I don't eat pork. Wow. Yeah, some of these can be crazy prices. It used to be easy to get these IMPs, now it's hard. I have never paid over 100 for a ration. That CR1M that I bought off of Foreign MRE, I think I paid like 80 something for that one. I'm sure it would have been over 100 had the original mains been left in there. But because it was rated, they sold it at a discount. But that's how I got my Fred. And I still use that little scrubby pad when I go camping. That thing is still holding up. It gets a thorough cleaning after I come home from each trip. Yeah, that kebab meatballs is the main that I really want to try. That was the one that I bought but got raided. I think the other two items were chicken items and they both got snatched. I do want to eventually make a larger order from Emery Empire out of UK. That omelet that I ordered that was from a British RP, I ended up eating that one for, I think I ate that for breakfast before a trip. Just because I wanted something quick and easy, but would give me a lot of morning punch because I would be busy that day, and I wasn't sure if I would, if I would have time to have an actual lunch, or if I would just be eating on the move. And that one, I just went ahead and nuked it in the microwave instead of boiling the pouch. I'm not surprised about that. I'm sure that's probably the same with FedEx, although about a week and a half ago, I was riding a bus somewhere and I passed a DHL van. they were apparently delivering to one of the stores in this area we call the East Village, which is a mixed usage area on the east side of the river, in between the river and the state capitol grounds. They just do not have a distribution center here in Des Moines. In fact, one time, DHL told me I had to come to Cedar Rapids to pick up a package, and I said, no, I don't drive. How am I supposed to come to Cedar Rapids to pick up a package? They ended up delivering it. And then other times I have better luck with them than FedEx. Because FedEx does not like my apartment complex, because they can't just go in and drop your package in front of your door. They will not follow the instructions to make contact with the intended recipient. Now, some FedEx drivers will do it, but most will not. And so the last few times I had FedEx packages, I have it shipped to a FedEx office location. Speaking of Samsung, I'm using my old Samsung Galaxy S5. I have not had actual cell service on it probably since 2016, maybe early 2017, because I switched to a different provider and I could not carry this phone over, so I just kept it for video shooting. But the company that I use for my regular cell service, they sell refurb phones that have been unlocked, and then they reprogram them to work on their system. Oops. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. If you get it out right away, you could, if you put it in a container full of uncooked rice, the rice will draw the moisture out of it. It may take several days, but people have done that, and that has worked. People have done that with cameras too. But the phone that I have service on, which I have shot some video on, also is a LG Phoenix 3. So if for some reason I'm doing a stream and this Samsung cuts out and I still want to continue streaming, I'll just restart the stream on the LG and just keep going. So I guess that's how I have my backup plan, but I would like to get a newer one. But a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 by now, Sprint merged with T-Mobile, and all Sprint stores and the Sprint service all got switched over to T-Mobile. So I suppose the only thing I could do is look for an unlocked Sprint phone on eBay, the newest one I can find, and then buy it and see if my SIM card will work in there. Wow. Maybe that case wasn't quite so waterproof. I have a waterproof case it's supposed to be waterproof for this one, but the cover that goes over the charge port, that broke off. And somehow a perforation got poked into this membrane that covers either the mic hole or the speaker hole in the phone itself. This membrane in the case, I guess somehow that got a tiny hole in it. Plus, it's harder to use a touchscreen in that thing because the screen cover does not make solid contact over the entire screen like this case does. This case that I'm using now is not waterproof because it has the speaker hole exposed, has the mic hole exposed, it has the center button hole exposed, and then the little flap that covers the charge port, that broke off of this one, but it still protects the phone from from when I drop it. So that's my main concern when I get a phone case is, will it protect the phone when it gets dropped? I do have one of those bags that you're supposed to be able to put a phone in, and then you close it up, and it's supposed to be completely sealed. But I have never tried using it with, just for usual stuff like video shooting or photo shooting with it inside that bag, trying to operate the screen. I've never tried that one, but I do have that bag. That was a free gift when I got that 3-liter water bladder that I have. But that phone bag just has a flip lock system. You fold the top over and you put this latch thing on it, and then you flip it closed. These tabs close, but those little latches come out. So water could get in there if it's submerged, so I would not submerge that one. Ooh, Gil's got some work to do because he's been putting up videos about his drainage ditch pipe install. So he's been showing a series of videos on that. So I bet that project is not yet done. Well, I finished off this caramel. But let's see, next week, what should I do? I have one Lithuanian ration. I have Norwegian Arctic field ration. I have a French RIER that's a single meal ration. I was supposed to do a collab with Aletha, but I'm still sitting on that one, so I don't know if that one is gonna go as we had originally talked about doing it, or if I will just end up doing that one on my own. I have the other, I have the shepherd's pie IMP that I got from CT. I have some USMREs, some I've reviewed before. I think one I haven't had for a few years. And then I have another one of the Minotaur Arctic field rations. I have the Justin's Chicken Hot Pot. Yeah, I think she has been dealing with stuff at home and maybe work. I'm not sure if she has gotten sick again or what. I have not heard from her for a while. Yeah, it's called Justin's Chicken Hot Pot. Then again, you know, she could be working on Sundays. She may have gotten some different hours. Who knows what's going on in the store that she works in? Of course, I just had chicken tonight, so I may hold that hot pot off for a week or two. So I could go back to a regular USMRE, or I could go with the Norwegian Arctic field ration, or I could go with the Lithuanian ration. Yeah, she'll actually, yeah, she does post on Facebook. She might pop into, you know, any of the ration groups on Facebook. Yeah, here, yeah, there's a liquid form. It's actually the oil that you can get, depending on where you're at, if it's available in the dispensaries in your area that are legally authorized to sell it. You can get it in the oil form. I have absolutely no idea if you just take that oil straight up. Say like you would take a half a teaspoon of it just straight up, or you mix it in something, or you can get it in a capsule form. or you can get it in some other form used as an ingredient. Say, for instance, you get some gummies that have the CBD in it, and you would maybe eat one or two of those, or however the dosage is. Or you can get it in an actual tincture form, which is more a thinner liquid than the oil itself. Yeah, that would be in a tincture form, unless it's a thicker liquid like the oil. And depending on certain places, you could get the medicinal marijuana that you would actually smoke it. It's in a cigarette form. And you go to the dispensary and you're allowed to purchase a certain number of either pre-made cigarettes, or you get the stuff and you roll your own. It just all depends on where you're at and what is allowable in your area as far as getting it. You know, how much of the THC is allowable for what your license card says you can do. So here in Iowa, you have to go to a doctor that is okay with issuing you a cannabis license card, and then you have to go to one of 5 dispensaries in the state in order to get it. So right now there are only 5 throughout the whole state of Iowa. And I don't know if any of them are close enough to a bus stop for me to get to if I wanted to do that. And of course, the downside of that is if you get the license card, at least here in Iowa, you are not allowed to purchase certain other items that make noise and pop things out the front end. I have had all of the previously known Lithuanian menus that have chicken or beef in them. And the one that I do have is one that I have not had for several years, since I used to get them off of foreign MRE when they were selling them at a very good price. But if it's like the other one that I have, yeah, it's a newer menu, but it's the exact same thing as it was before, maybe just a couple of different component changes. Those tank treads will still be in there, which I do like those caraway crackers. I have never had the rye bread out of a ration that was in something other than a can. You know, that German sliced bread that comes in a can. I watched an Estonian ration review And that one had that rye bread in it. So they probably have either the same source or they just both use the same type of thing. And that vacuum sealed rye bread. Yeah, I have never seen actual bread in a Lithuanian ration, only those crackers. Probably not the last one to get those crossed up. But it would be nice to try both of those. You know, a Latvian and an Estonian. I wouldn't mind trying either one of those. But there are some that I keep looking at on eBay. I keep putting in my watch list. The new German EPA in the bag, and some are marked halal. So one of these days I'm going to order one of those and see if it actually gets to me in one piece. Then there are some new British ORPs that I would like to try as well. They come in a plastic bag instead of a box like the older ORPs used to before, I think 2020 or 2019. Yeah, right now, from what I heard, Art and Nina are building a new house, or it should be almost done. I haven't seen any videos on the Sleepy Doll construction recently about that build progress, but that's where they're going to be moving everything to. So I think once they get all established in there, they may start up again. But then again, it will be, have to see if they're able to keep it going again. Because they went through a lot of difficulties with customs raids. Well, Lucas is a person. Yeah, Aletha actually brought me that that single meal French ration that I have. But I don't remember where she got that one from, but she got hold of two of those, and we were supposed to both do them together at once at the same time. But with, then she got sick, so she couldn't eat for a while. I don't know how that has... And I just got briefly disconnected, so I do apologize for that. But I'll wait for a little while on that one. And I may end up doing that one just by myself. But we'll see. I'll go through some other ones first, because I still have a whole box full plus others, so. Well, since a few more of you are leaving, and I've been on almost 2 hours, I'm probably going to go ahead and call this one good for tonight. I do want to thank you all for watching, and I do thank Elsie for dropping that super chat. That's much appreciated. And again, thanks to CT for sending the Poutine and all these other Canadian candy bars that I will be making my way through. So stay tuned for next week to see what I will do. I'll think about it over the week and then post up what I decide to do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you all on the flip side.